All right, guys, we got another treasure hunting video for you. This is gonna sound a little out there, but we're gonna prospect for gold right here in our yard in Michigan. So I'm gonna explain my thought process. We do have gold in Michigan, but it's been granulated and ground up to a really small, like flour gold or particle gold. So we don't find nuggets like you would in like a river over in the Rocky Mountains or something like that, or up in Alaska. You're not gonna find a big, huge nugget when you pan for gold in Michigan. What you're gonna find is what's called flour gold or particle gold. It's really small little pieces of gold. What's happened is over thousands of years, as the glaciers moved through Michigan from the north, they came down from Canada, and as they came down, they picked up a lot of large rocks and massive amount of debris, and as it moved south, that heavy ice crushed it and pulverized it and granulated it to a fine powder, and that includes the gold that was with it. So as the glacier melted and receded back to Canada, it deposited all of that, what's called glacier outwash. It's a lot of gravel and sand and gold. It's all been deposited. It's basically what our state's made out of. We have a large amounts of sand and gravel, and there's been some clay deposits too. A lot of the glaciers left behind clay deposits. So what my thinking is if you look at my yard, everything sort of slopes down to this area. And if you watch any kind of gold panning videos, you'll learn that the way gold behaves, it's heavy, so it always sinks down to where whatever the lowest point is, that's where you'll find the gold. So at the very bottom of this, we have a woodchuck hole, and if I'm lucky, if there is a sheet of clay underneath here, clay will act like bedrock, and as gold sinks, it will rest on top of a clay layer. And woodchucks typically go down 4 to 6 feet deep. What I'm hoping is he went down that deep. He kind of collected that sediment with the gold in it that was resting on the clay layer, and he kicked it out in his tailings. So we're gonna pan these tailings right here. And I know it sounds crazy, you know, we're panning woodchuck holes, but it's not unheard of. I've seen it done before in some corner of YouTube somewhere. So this isn't my idea originally. I got 2 gold pans over here. My daughter said she's gonna help me out, so we're gonna fill up this bucket. This will be our little makeshift river right here. We'll fill that all the way up. And we'll collect a little dirt in our gold pans. There's videos on YouTube of people panning for gold in Michigan, and they have found some. I've seen some videos online where people were panning for gold in a river up towards Grand Rapids, and they claim to have found nuggets. I've seen a lot of videos of people panning for gold in Athens, Michigan. They're going for an old riverbed, and like an ancient riverbed up there, and they've been panning for gold, and they find gold. It is like the granulated flour gold that I was telling you guys about, so it's real fine. It's very tedious to collect. So Michigan's got tons of gold. It's just, it's so tedious to collect this flour gold. You got to pan and pan and pan just to find a single particle. It's really not really profitable. It's more of a hobby. It's just kind of fun to do. I do have an example here I can show you guys. There's 2 different style nuggets here, or 2 different style gold prospectors are looking for. You got your big giant nuggets that you will find in like a river. You can see the big nuggets in there. And then you can see up in there, this up here is what's called flour gold. Very fine little pieces of gold. That's what you'll find in Michigan when you pan. So, I mean, it'd be nice to find one of these big nuggets. You never know, you know, it's possible. But if we do find any gold today, it will be like this flower gold up here. Very fine. So we're gonna go ahead and start panning and we'll see what we come up with. And there's a lot of thorns up in there. Let me get up in there and do it. All right. We're gonna go into it a little bit because I think this one's been sitting around for a little while. So if there was any gold in it, it's gonna be already sink down a little bit. So we're gonna go down a little bit. You can see there's quite a bit of clay mixed up in there. So I'm pretty confident that there is a layer of clay below us. And as I said, I'm hoping as he dug his burrow out, it kind of skimmed off the top of that lake layer, and maybe he collected some of that particle gold and threw it up in here. So we're gonna get down a little bit.
Is there a possible way that you could see like just gold digging it up?
If it was a really big nugget, you could, yeah. Okay, there's one chunk.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another chunk. That's probably too much for that little pan. But yeah, let's take this up and
Gold pan.
yeah, we'll see what happens. I think I put a little too much in the pans, so what I'm gonna do is just take a little bit out, put it over here. Okay, so we're gonna get started with this. First, I'm just gonna kind of grab some stuff out that I know doesn't need to be in there. Okay, so we got it ready to go. You see these ridges on here? What we're gonna do is we're gonna get the water in, we're gonna shake it back and forth, and hopefully all the heavy stuff will kind of rest down at the bottom. And we'll tip it forward, and as the water flows out, the lighter dirt will flow out with the water. And all the heavy stuff will catch on these ridge lines here and hopefully stay in the pan. So here we go. Okay, we're gonna start shaking it like that. Just kind of back and forth, back and forth. You can already see a lot of the light stuff. The little twigs and roots are kind of right floating to the top. All right, we'll just kind of dump a lot of that light stuff right out. Just kind of keep doing that back and forth, back and forth. Yep. Let all that heavy stuff get down to that bottom corner. And we'll dip it in there like that and let it just kind of flow out. Just like a, you know, almost like create a current like a river would. Just kind of shake it back and forth, shake it back and forth. And that heavy stuff goes down into that corner and then let it kind of flow out. And then you can already see a lot of the dirt is already gone out of here. And I might have actually gone a little too fast. You know, some of that I probably should have let it settle a little bit more before I got it out. We'll just kind of wash it back and forth like a wave almost. You can see a lot of that light stuff just kind of rolling right off. Yep, get that out of there. And you can see a lot of the stuff that's just left is almost just pure sand. And we'll do it again, get it back in there, kind of let it all get back to the bottom. And then back and forth, get that heavy stuff in the corner. then just kind of let it all wash out like that. You can see there's a lot of big rocks in there. I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out just so they're not messing up my sluice action. Just kind of pull those out and flick them out of there. Now what we're trying to do is get down to a concentrate of all just the heavy particles. So it should be a little band of black sand. And what black sand is essentially is iron ore. And so it's extra heavy, so it rests at the bottom. And if you dry it out really good, it's actually magnetic. You could hold a magnet up to it. And it's actually a good way to separate the gold from the black sand is to just kind of rub magnets through it. And then, because gold's not magnetic, so it would just kind of leave behind the gold. Yeah, here we go. Got a lot of rocks in there still. That's not good. We'll try to get rid of some of those. Okay, here we go. We're getting down to the last little bit here. All right, let's see if we got anything. Not really seeing anything. There's still a lot of rocks and pebbles in there. I probably should have put the dirt through a classifier. That would have got rid of some of these rocks. Rocks in your pan are not good because they kind of roll around and they might even push your gold out when it's not supposed to be pushed out. Okay, that's the bottom right there. You seeing anything?
No.
No speckles of gold? You can see right here is the black sand that I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a real heavy sand. There's definitely some sparkles in that. You know, I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's the black sand that I'm talking about right there. If you were to dry that out and put a magnet on it, it would actually be magnetic. It's metal. All right, it's your turn to try it out. Let's see if you can come up with something. Yeah, put some of this in my pan. That way you don't have so much. There you go. Try out with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, shake it back and forth like that, and then tip it forward and just kind of go back and forth like this. And then, yeah, just kind of let the water come in and out. We're not professionals, by the way. This is just something I used to do a few years ago for fun. Look.
Oh.
Yep, back and forth like that. Shake it. Yeah, shake it up. And then, but you got to tilt it forward a little bit as you shake it. That way all that heavy stuff kind of rests in this bottom corner down here. And then once you think you got it pretty good, then dip it down in there and just kind of let the water wash away some of that light stuff. Like a wave coming in. Just like at a beach. Yep. And then once you do that again, then kind of put some more water in there. Yep. And then shake it back and forth. Get that heavy stuff back in there. And then just keep doing that over and over until there's all that's left is just that heavy sand. If you see a big rock in there, grab it and toss it out of there.
That's not a rock.
It might be a big diamond.
Here's a big rock. Don't want that in there.
You're doing good.
Big rocks.
Yeah, get rid of those big ones.
There's a tiny little one. There's a shell.
Sometimes we go up north to visit the UP, and we'll go all the way to the top of the Upper Peninsula and go visit the Lake Superior beaches. And what's interesting about Lake Superior is you'll find a black band that goes all along the beach. And essentially, the lake has done what we're trying to do right now. The lake has concentrated all of the heavy sand into like a real concentrated band that goes all along the beach. All that wave action back and forth, it created like a really very visible band of black sand. And people go up and they'll dig at that black sand and they'll sluice that black sand and pan it, and they do find gold.
It's
so
squishy. See?
yeah, it's probably clay. A little bit of clay.
Get that stick out.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Lake Superior almost is like a giant sluice box. We were talking, you know, it'd be good to practice a little bit down here with our gold pans and try to get a little bit better, and go up on one of our trips up north and try to gold pan up at Lake Superior. That'd be fun. Yeah, right there. Look, it's like pure sand that's left. You see? Like, that's like sand you'd see at a beach.
It's like one with the clay texture too.
So yep, so now you're getting down to the concentrate. So yeah, just kind of back and forth, keep doing it. And now do a little wave action in there, trying to get some of that out. Not too hard, not too hard. Yep, real delicately. Now what you do now is you just kind of spin this water in circles. Yep, and then bring it back. Whoa, look at that black sand you got in there. Whoa, Leona, you got a lot of black sand. Look right there. What is that?
What?
That little white speck right there. Or here, hold the pan with both hands so I can zoom in on that. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. What is that? You know? Oh, okay. It just kind of floated away, didn't it? Gold should not float away. It should just kind of stay there. Well, I'm not seeing any gold this time. But you did a really good job at concentrating it. You see that black sand right
That's
there?
a lot of black
Yeah,
sand.
you did a
Wait,
really
pause,
good job.
What is that?
Oh, it's too light to be gold. When you're looking for gold in your pan, you want to look for something that's bright that doesn't move. The stuff that's all bouncing around it's really light stuff. But yeah, no, you did a good job at concentrating it. You can tell. But yeah, we're gonna call it a day. We might try again another day. It was good practice. But no gold this time, guys. Our treasure hunt was unsuccessful. It was beautiful out. We had a little bit of time to just kind of hang out, so we wanted to try to do it. We will do a little bit more gold panning, but we will probably wait for like a Lake Superior trip or something like that. We are planning on doing some mudlarking videos here very soon, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, you never know until you try, you know. It would have been cool to find a big giant nugget. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.